Let me tell you a story. So when I was younger, I was diagnosed with a condition called lymphedema. And when I was diagnosed with this, I was told that I would never get better from it, that I would have to wear this black thing on my leg for the rest of my life, and that it wasn't curable. And the main thing for me that ate me up the most and effectively the most growing up as a kid, and like really I felt like at the time ruined my life, was the fact that I had to wear this black thing on my leg. And this was my biggest insecurity. Like when I found this out, I cried, man. And growing up, it used to eat me up inside. I would never wear shorts. I would never let anyone see it. And I was 100% convinced that I was going to die alone because I had this like black bit of fabric over my leg. And you might be thinking this being like, Mo, this isn't a big deal. But when you're in school, like, you know that kids pick on things that look different. You want to fit in. You want to be normal. You don't want to be an outcast. And the fact that I had this thing wrong with me made me incredibly insecure, man. I was 100% convinced that because of this, no one would ever love me. I would never get a girlfriend. I would never get married. I would die alone because I was such a freak with this thing on my leg. And now in hindsight, like, I don't give a fuck in the slightest because I've completely gotten over it. But I'm going to show you how I've done that. And also you might be watching this thinking, bro, it's only a black suspender thing on your leg. Why do you care? But to me, it was the biggest thing ever, man. To me, I might as well have had like a 12-inch black cock growing off my forehead. Like, that's how much this shit affected me. Like, it was so bad that I remember, like, if we had PE, physical education, I used to go to the disabled toilets to get changed. I would never ever wear shorts, like even if it was like 30, 40 degrees outside or in some foreign hot country, like dripping with sweat. I'd always wear jeans or trousers because no one could look at my leg. And my biggest fear was someone like noticing it. I remember when I finally got my first girlfriend, and she came round, and then we're gonna we're gonna fuck. And like, I couldn't physically get changed or take off my clothes in front of her because I had to go into the bathroom because I was so insecure about her seeing my leg, like just this little black tight on my leg, that I felt like it was gonna ruin my life. And at the time, that was just a leg support that covered my shin, like a below knee leg support. Now I wear like a full-blown freaking suspender. It literally looks like a suspender on one leg, and I don't care. Like, I go out, I'll meet people, like obviously I've got a girlfriend, I'll smash in a fucking leg tie, and I'll use it as a superpower and make jokes about it, be like, oh, I bet you've never smashed someone with a black leg before. It's so easy to get over. And it's the same with any insecurity, gaining confidence, like everything is tied in. But I want to demonstrate something first, just to kind of prove a point. Like, I am not naturally good at speaking to a camera, and I haven't spoken to a camera in public, like outside, in a very long time. The thought of it shits me up. So we're gonna go and do it. I am slightly uncomfortable right now because I do not actually like public speaking, but we're starting at level 1. Basically, I'm going to demonstrate that through gradually getting worse and putting yourself in situations that make you feel more uncomfortable, you're going to eventually get better at it. We're going to the busiest place in the whole of Bangkok on a Saturday night, and I'm going to demonstrate something. One of my biggest fears is public speaking and being judged and being in a social situation where like people are looking at me and judging me. And you might be thinking, Mo, like, you make YouTube videos for a living, you've done all this crazy shit, like absolute BS. The reason I do all this crazy shit, like the reason I do all this stuff in my life, like the reason I'm doing this thing that I'm going to do right now that I'm absolutely terrified of doing, is because it scares the shit out of me. And like, if something scares me, I know that I need to do it. Every day we're met with these things that scare us. Every day the majority of us choose to run away from them, but you want to do the opposite. So if something scares you, or if something scares the shit out of you, you want to lean into it. Right, so this is the busiest street in Bangkok. What I'm going to demonstrate, right, is you slowly step outside of your comfort zone. So I've got like a lump in my throat. You probably feel my voice is quite tight. I'm not going to cut this, because like, just try doing this, bro. No.
Come on, man.
Bro, have one. Level 2, right, is going to be to put a massive tripod down right in everyone's way. My current heart rate is 105. We'll give it 5 minutes, right? I'll stand here until 1926.
and we'll see how I feel at the end. I feel very uncomfortable right now. You make yourself do the thing that you don't want to do, and then you repeat the behavior, and eventually it gets easier. So if I stood here for like an hour, I would get used to it. And then like when I do this again, it'd be easy. I'm conditioning my brain to like do the things that I don't want to do, and now I'm already pretty chill. What's your name?
Sadik.
Sadik.
Hello guys.
You gotta do it for the camera, man. Oh, come on, you gotta do the head. What about it? Can you eat the head?
No bro, you should try from there.
Oh, fuck me.
Similar fish. But good.
Oh, lovely.
Right. That was absolutely awful. And it's kind of embarrassing because I'm like a YouTube person, a YouTuber, and I can't even speak in public to a camera. But like I'm not one of these people that like wants to it makes me feel, what I'm trying to say is it makes me feel incredibly fucking uncomfortable to do this, bro. How do you actually start this? Like a lot of people try and do everything at once and they get overwhelmed, they get too scared before they even try. The best way to do it is gradually step outside of your comfort zone. So you find something that scares you a lot, and then you think, okay, what can I do a little bit that's gonna scare me a bit towards this thing, but it's manageable. So for me, for example, with my black leg that no one in the world could ever see because it would completely ruin my life, what I started to do was I started to wear shorts. Not outside because that was too scary for me. I started to wear shorts inside my house. So in my house, I'd wear shorts, like in front of my family or parents. And at first, that'd be really scary. Like that'd be absolutely horrible. Like I'd be like absolutely shitting myself because I was so insecure about it. And then I'd do that for a few weeks and it'll be fine. I wouldn't care about it anymore. And the next step would be to get changed in the normal toilets changing room instead of getting changed in disabled toilets. And again, this sounds stupid, but to me, man, it's a really big thing. And then I started to get changed in front of other lads, like with my black leg support. I'd hide it at first beneath my trackies. And then eventually, like nothing happened, like no one really cared. And then eventually I just started to gain that confidence and baby steps until I got to a point where I could literally go to a festival wearing nothing but a black leg tight and a pair of Speedos, pull a girl, have people judge me. If you asked me to do that a few years before, I would have probably literally rather ended myself. Like that's how much it affected me, man. But you just work up, bro. You build those things up and you got to realize you got to keep moving forwards. If you're not progressing, you're regressing. So like always work at the edge of your comfort zone. The difference between the people that change and the people that evolve are the people that evolve are the people that are willing to use fear as an indicator. They don't run away from fear, they run into it. And it's like every day you're met with a choice. Like you can either choose fear or you can choose freedom. By choosing fear, you're noticing the thing that scares you, you're running away from it, you're letting that thing win. If when something scares you, you like succumb to it, you turn away from it, you stay in your comfort zone, you stay inside, you don't go up to the girl at the bar, you don't do this thing that you know you need to do. Bro, just ask yourself this, man. Like whenever something gives you that anxiety or that fear, like you know you need to do it. Like somewhere in your brain, like deep down, you know you need to do it, but your brain your monkey mind tries to justify it, and it's like, this is stupid, you're going to be judged, you're going to be rejected, don't do it, and you'll come up with all these fucking excuses not to do a certain thing. Like it's why so many of you won't change, because the entire point of this video is this. Like, I'll literally save you the time watching the entire rest of the video. When something scares you, you use it as an indicator. You use it as an indicator for an area that you need to grow in. When you have fear, when you have anxiety, you lean into it. You do that thing. You deliberately do the thing that scares you. You do this thing that makes you feel uncomfortable, that gives you discomfort. It's only through working at the boundaries of your comfort zone, pushing the boat out, deliberately getting that horrible sick feeling in your stomach and actually like fucking running into it. By doing that, that is the only way that you're going to get used to that feeling. And eventually, I can promise you this, you do it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And eventually, that same place that you'd previously be shaking with anxiety in, you don't care about it anymore. It's like, have you ever wondered why, like, for example, skydiving, okay? I'm scared of heights. I'm terrified of heights. Like I'm literally, if I lean on top of it, like lean over a building, I'll get like, bro, like this horrible feeling in my stomach. The reason I do it is because I'm so scared of it. If I forced myself to do it, I would overcome it and grow as a person. So now I'm on like 300 skydives and like my heart rate is like this. I'm zen, I love it, I enjoy it, but I'm still shit scared of heights. And the reason for that is because I've done something that scares me. I've done it again and again and again and again. The more times I've done it, I've worked on the edge of my comfort zone, and eventually I become used to it and realize that it's fine. Like, my brain's just trying to play tricks on me, telling me not to do this thing, I'm going to die. How funny would it be if I died in a skydiving accident in like a week's time? I've literally got it tattooed on my arm, like aversion ascension, okay? So every day you're met with a choice. Every day you're met with situations that scare you, things where you're going to feel anxious about, whether it's socially, whether it's physically, whether it's spiritually, whatever it is. And every day you're met with this choice. You can either choose aversion, where you get scared of something, you run away from it, you remain in a cute little comfort zone, you don't go outside, you feel nice and safe. But then by choosing aversion, you're choosing fear. Like, you're letting fear win. You're not going to grow as a person. You're not going to change. You're not going to do fucking anything. Or you can choose ascension. When something scares you, you do it. You lean into it. You choose freedom over fear. And that's literally the entire fucking point of this video and the hack, dude. Like, you use fear as an indicator, whether it's confidence, whether it's insecurities, whatever it is, and then you lean into it, bro. The best way to get good at public speaking is by doing it, is by accepting you're going to be shit, accepting that people might laugh at you, accepting you're going to feel absolutely terrible, putting yourself in that situation where you feel so bad and doing it again and again and again and again. The best way to overcome insecurities about your clapped out hairline is just go to Turkey, get a hair transplant. No, but before I did that, man, like, the best way to overcome that is, like, my biggest fear was someone noticing it, especially a girl that I wanted to date or wanted to sleep with. So what I would do was I would go out. I'd start, like, by meeting, let's say, girls that I wasn't really interested in, or just chatting to, like, people in a bar, or like my friends, etc., and I'd start to make jokes about my hairline. I would be able to take the piss out of myself and not be bothered by it. Like, the thought of someone commenting on my hairline, like commenting on my hairline like a man, was the worst thing for me, bro. And before I did this, I was in the trenches, man. So what I started to do was I started to make jokes about myself. And then through doing that, I started to get more and more secure about it. And then I started to be able to be in a position where, for example, guys could take a dig at my hairline. I wouldn't care. I just find it funny. And then you ascend to a point, right, where you can literally take your insecurity and use it as a fucking superpower. And that in itself, like, feels incredibly good, and is also very attractive as well. So I could be like, I bet you've never slept with a bloke with a hairline of a 70-year-old. And it's like the actual, no one gives a shit as much as yourself. Everyone is so obsessed with their own insecurities, with their own problems, with their own, like, oh, what does this person think of me, that they don't give a shit about you. But what they do give a shit about is if you're like some little crippling weasel who's like, oh no, like everyone, like, I'm so insecure about this thing, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I've got a shit hairline, like, and you don't actually do anything to change your mindset or get over it. That's what's unattractive. That's what people don't fucking care about. I wish I realized this earlier when I was younger, because it would have saved me so much pain and suffering if someone just explained to me that all you need to do is don't be such a fucking little bitch. Get in a position where you're putting yourself in places of fear, where you're deliberately seeking that discomfort, and that is what's going to change you, man. But yeah, anyway, people, that was a bit of a random one, but let me know if you liked it. I quite enjoyed making that. Well, I didn't enjoy making that. I absolutely fucking hated making that, but it was fun, and it's something that I, as you can tell, I care about. And yeah, going into 2024, man, one of the things I want to do is just become more of a person that I'm proud of being. Like, be able to, like, look at myself and be like, yes, like, I'm happy with the person that I've become, the way that I interact with the world, my confidence, like, ability to publicly speak, ability to socialize. Because, dude, it is a fucking superpower. Like, you know, where you meet people and they just speak to anyone and they can have sick conversations with anyone. That comes to them being secure in themselves, confidence, not having, like, crippling insecurities. Like, that energy radiates across people. Versus you meet someone who's very insecure, like, they're very judgy, they're very judgmental of themselves. It seems like they're judging you. They're not very good at talking. Like, they're not good to spend time with it. They get less opportunities, less deals, less friends, less women. Like, their life satisfaction is going to be less. So yeah, this is why I feel so important about this thing. Take home message, man. Use fear as an indicator. Do shit that scares you, and actually just really audit yourself and think about everything that you're potentially missing out on by not doing this thing, dude. Yeah, by not doing this thing.